Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of Dodo Biscuits. I am Joseph Mendelia with my co-host David Rerich and Daniel Hoffman. And actually, our first topic of today is actually a real-life experience. Dan Hoffman of New York City Ghostbusters was at the world premiere of the new Ghostbusters movie.
Yep, I was.
So Dan, how was it? How'd you get passes to go to that?
Because we've done stuff we do a lot of charity work for the Trinity Place shelter in New York City. Sony Pictures, they usually try to recognize all the different Ghostbuster groups, because Ivan Reitman has he has a wall. He has every single patch from any Ghostbuster group that sent it to him, and basically they try to keep in contact with us, and they let us know whenever they have something they can do, like where it's like, oh hey, we have the new movie's coming out. We're gonna have for New York Comic Con, they had basically they had a screening for everybody that was going to see that wanted to see them. Like basically they had a panel. They had after the panel got to a certain point, they said Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman came out, and they're like, so by the way, guys, we're gonna shut the feed off now. We're going to show this crowd Ghostbusters Afterlife right now. And then they shut the feed, and everybody that was listening to the feed went, wait, what? So people in New York Comic Con saw Ghostbusters Afterlife before anyone. Then the next day, Adam Savage was walking around New York Comic Con, and my group met and was hanging out with him for a good portion of the day. Then the next day or later that day, the girl that plays Phoebe, and the kid who plays Podcast in the movie, they came down to our booth and were hanging out for a little bit. But everything was put together by Sony Pictures, and with the same thing with this event, they gave us a heads up. Hey, we're giving you guys a week. We just give us an exact amount of numbers. We'll tell you whether or not we can give you that person an in or not. So basically, they said, we gave them a bunch of names, and we pulled them all in. Bada bing, bada boom. We all sat outside waiting for the stupid. We all sat outside in the stupid cold, and then went inside.
It's been a mild fall in New York, though, so not terrible.
Oh yeah,
a bit chilly, but
oh no, last night was frigid. I don't know what it was, but it was.
So, who was any celebrities on the red carpet that you saw?
We didn't get to see them because we were waiting on the sidelines, because they were only allowing a certain amount of people in the red carpet area.
Okay.
So, but I was able to see the mother, Carrie, whoever who plays the mother. She came in.
Carrie Coon played Callie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Carrie Coon was coming in while me, Kate, and another one of our Ghostbuster friends, Kenneth, was just there, and then we were like, "Oh, that's the mother. Hey, that's Carrie." So, but we noticed. We saw Paul Rudd. We saw Dan. We saw Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson. Most of the cast except what was it? I think Finn Wolfhard. He had either he was a prior engagement, or it was something was going on with his stomach, so he had an illness of sorts, so they were like he wasn't going to be joining us.
So he plays Trevor. He's the guy from Stranger Things.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the movie,
Sigourney Weaver, you saw her?
Nope, Sigourney was not there.
Okay. What about Annie Potts?
Annie was not there either. Sorry.
That's all right.
Did Moranis make a miraculous reappearance into public?
No, he wasn't there either.
All right. So the core Ghostbusters that are still alive were there. Okay.
Yes.
Those originally 3 left. Ugh.
Yeah. but that movie was a ride. That movie was a beautiful ride.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's worth it to go see it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If
Um,
you want,
compared to the all-female Ghostbusters film, how does it measure up? Better? Worse?
it's so much
better.
so much better.
How does it compare to Ghostbusters 2?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's it's this this is okay, this is how we're gonna that we have to look at it. So with this Ghostbusters movie, it is centered around that the Ghostbusters they did like no ghost activity happened for 30 years, or it was very, very minimal ghost activity.
It's like The Force Awakens, but with Ghostbusters.
Basically, no. Well, technically, they basically said that Ghostbusters 2 did not happen, and Ghostbusters 2016 did not happen. Yes, yeah.
No Gozer?
Either that, or the way that they
Gozer's still there. No,
Gozer's still in there.
No, Vigo.
No, what was the second? Oh, Vigo.
Vigo.
Yeah.
Vigo. Oh, I'm mixing up my villains. Sorry.
No, Janish.
It's either
no Oscar.
It's either
can't do that.
Nope. It's either that or they made it so it was like it was different, like the way that it was set up, it was a different way of how things got to where they had to. But the way that it happened, it had to happen that way because that was like everything that led up to A, B, and C. But honestly, I think it still considered Ghostbusters 2 in as canon, also making the video game as canon. Because like the way that it was set up, it could have been going either way. Because there was a couple of lines that I noticed that I was like, wait a minute, he said that. I'm like, that makes a little sense. I'm like, all right, maybe they tried to finagle.
It's more like the Final Destination sequels where they always call back to the original Final Destination movie, but 2, 3, 4, 5 could have happened. It's just they don't really talk about it.
And
yeah, exactly.
Casper's in the Ghostbusters universe too.
Yes, true.
Because the Ghostbusters showed up in the Casper movie.
Yeah.
So wait, when you mentioned the video game, you're talking about the Atari game, right? That came out for the just a few years back.
Yeah, it was that one.
Ghostbusters 3.
The one for the Wii.
Yeah.
Right? That was made by Atari.
It was multi-platform. I think the Wii version was slightly different. Did Dan just leave? He just walked away.
He does that.
Oh, here he is. No, the Wii version is technically like a little bit of a. It was a different version. I don't know if it's the same storyline.
Yeah. I didn't know whether or not it was the same storyline or not, but I know it definitely was different art style.
Yeah.
Now Dan is a Ghostbusters super fan. He's part of New York City Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Has his own special like insignia and costume and every uniform. So as a super fan, he's coming in. He says he loves it. As a non-Ghostbuster fan, would you think that they'll come in having never seen any of the other films and still be able to enjoy it?
They'll be able to enjoy it. They won't catch as many like of the references as the slight little nods. There's a good one of the other guys that I was talking to. He was one of the one things he said, and actually I agree. I kind of agreed with him because I was like, all right, I kind of see. Yeah, that was like it was a little heavy-handed on that, but for the most part, it was actually I liked the way that they did it. They fan serviced a little bit, but it was a lot of fan servicing in the sense of they did subtle nods that were like, oh, like because like X, Y, and Z, they had to make sure that this was in frame to show you like, hey, duh. And then it was like it caught like a couple of things where it was like there was one scene, and I'm not gonna give it away, one of the characters is going through some old stuff, and she happens to find something that really throws back to the first one.
Okay.
And you sit there going, oh.
Yes. At this point, it's like, that's a fun game. Guess what it
So,
was?
You don't have to.
no.
You don't have to see the original before watching this, but it won't hurt.
You don't have to. Yeah, if you see the original before you see this one, it wouldn't hurt. But
I haven't seen the original by now. If you're going into this, I mean, unless you're kids, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw Arthur before Arthur 2 before Arthur, so I get it.
All right, moving on. Next topic.
Well, I'm looking forward to the fan servicing and the fan jobs. So
yeah. It was very nice. It was very nice. I will say,
calling back. I'm moving on. We're moving on now.
I was just gonna say, this is the only movie that you get all the emotions this for this one.
All right. Our next topic is Mel Gibson is set to direct Lethal Weapon 5.
Is he still a Nazi?
I don't think he's ever officially come out as a Nazi.
But he's dabbled. Okay, but go on. Tell your
he's dabbled.
Well, that is a concern. His typical stance is he's an alcoholic, and when he drinks, he becomes a huge douchebag.
Yeah. Well, that's what for sometimes most people.
And he's done charity and outreach to try to mend the fences, but those are hard fences to mend when you start going into racist rants, I guess. Anyway, so he's going to.
They weren't like racist; they were more anti-Semitic than anything else.
He did those as well. He did a lot of horrible, mean things, and he still has a career in Hollywood, though, apparently.
Well, he wants to get paid, so he's not a box office drawer anymore. I don't know if you have a recap there, but he wants to, of course, cash in on the 80s nostalgia like they're doing with every other movie, including Top Gun, as we discussed a few weeks ago.
He never has to work another day in his life. He made so much money off Passion of the Christ. He made something like 400 million just off that movie alone.
Yeah, but what is he making off of that? Is he getting residuals from the church?
Yeah. That was all his film. Like, just that movie alone, he never had to work. But even all his other
his movies, Passion of the Christ is the one you pick. I mean, he did Payback.
That's his biggest hit, though. That was
what about What Women Want?
Directed. I'm sure you get a big payday from that as well. But those were all Hollywood funded, so the paydays.
I have never seen Passion of the Christ. I have no desire to see that movie.
It's
a rough
movie.
It was. I came in.
You were talking about paydays, and with that movie, that was a big payday for him. That's all. So Richard Donner was set to direct the film because he directed the first 4, and he passed away in July of this year, 2021.
Oh, that's right, he did.
So what Gibson was going around saying was Donner came up to me and said, "Oh, if something happens to me, I want you to direct the film."
I'm sure that happened.
And he just kind of nodded and went, "Okay, whatever." And then
did he sign it with his pen, with his own blood?
Donner passed away, and Gibson wasn't pushing to direct it, but people went up to him and asked him. So he's set to come back and direct. Danny Glover's set to come back.
Very nice.
The other
Rene Russo.
I don't see Rene Russo. I don't see Chris Rock. Pesci. I don't see Joe Pesci in the list.
Oh my god!
I've never seen a Lethal Weapon movie, so I'm sorry if I'm ignorant.
Those are key actors in the franchise.
I know. I saw the commercials.
No, I don't see any of them in the list. Going through the Lethal Weapon films, that's just pretty much the classic buddy cop action movies. And
how old are these people now?
Well, they're in their late 50s into their 60s.
Is there like a synopsis for Lethal Weapon 5 that's available somewhere? That's gonna are they 80-year-old cops now?
There are no details on the film as of yet. The only thing
it's gonna probably be them retiring, and this is their last case.
They have to be retired by now.
Oh yeah.
We're 75 now. Let's retire.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this
They've been too old for this shit.
Yes.
But
maybe
no,
it's
it'd probably be. Yeah,
maybe it's
probably
an
be
old case, an old case that kicks up. Who knows?
He should remake Apocalypto with the cast of Lethal Weapon.
That,
and I'll see it or even know what it's about because I don't know what it's about. Yeah.
I mean, if you talk about, capable directors, though, Mel Gibson makes very good films as a director. He did Hacksaw Ridge. He did Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ. What was the other one? Braveheart's The Man Without a Face. That's another one.
Braveheart was a little overrated, but I only saw half of it.
Yeah.
Which half?
And I'll say
that
Apocalypto was kind
of interesting enough. I was watching a movie, The Outlaw King, starring Chris Pine, which follows Robert the Bruce, the person who eventually becomes King of Scotland, who's a character in Braveheart. And Braveheart was told much better, much more dramatically and well done, while The Outlaw King was not a very good film. So Gibson knew what he was doing when he told that story and how to make it dramatic, how to sell it. He certainly took a lot of dramatic license because William Wallace was apparently a huge savage guy. Yeah. He wasn't
huge.
He wasn't as nice as he's portrayed to be in the film, but
so
that's usually what happens with generals.
He was swinging a big carrot.
I just looked up something here. So you are right. Passion of the Christ is number one, Uno. Second is Signs, and third is What Women Want.
That's box office.
Box office. I mean, directing.
I'm talking about him as a producer with Passion. He produced Passion. That's why he's got more money with that one.
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Signs was a huge hit, and I actually like Signs. A lot of people don't like that movie, but I thought it was really good. And I don't even care.
The sign says long-haired people need not apply.
I don't care about the twist. I don't care about Dad's like
Debbie Checker.
Oh,
I hated it.
I hated it.
It's my favorite Shyamalan movie.
You kind of saw the twist coming. You knew when you did. You honestly, you knew it was coming. It's like watching Devil. You knew kind of what was coming down the pike, and you knew it was going to be like it was going to be. It was one of the four, in the damn elevator, and then you just kind of had to be like in a guessing game, like, well, that person's dead second or first. I'm pretty sure they're going to be the one that's going to kill everyone else. It's like, oh, duh.
I didn't see that movie yet, so la 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 la.
Oh, no, don't worry. You don't want to see that movie. It was terrible. It was five people stuck in an elevator with a guy that who basically was like, whenever the devil is near, the jelly toast falls jelly side down.
Well, he didn't.
He drops pieces.
Shyamalan only wrote that. He didn't direct that. So some of that,
whatever it was
some
terrible.
of that you can blame on the director. I was about to give up on Shyamalan, but then I saw Split, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
he made a good one.
I thought you were about to say The Happening.
Then he followed it up with Glass, and I was like, oh.
Yes,
Shyamalan is
very good.
I didn't like Glass. I liked Split, but I didn't like Glass.
I liked Glass. Glass was a little like, it was fun. It was not. It kind of like brought a little like it was like him trying to make a superhero movie to kind of make up for the fact that he shit the bed when he tried to make an Avatar movie.
All right. So I think the consensus is Mel Gibson and M. Night Shyamalan need to team up again and make something.
Yeah.
Maybe he should be directing Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, either that or directing like an Avatar movie. How do you fuck up a TV series that literally gives you everything?
Because everyone wants their own vision, I guess, and they.
All right, we got like a minute left here, but the TV series was Damon Wayans was the problem, I heard.
Yes.
And then the other actor, what was his name? Let me look him up.
Yeah, I know it was like it. I think it was like Sean William Scott or something.
They brought him in to replace the original guy, Clayne Crawford. And Clayne Crawford and Damon Wayans were getting into like physical fights on the set.
Oh, fun.
And they say that Clayne was rough, but he was trying to do a good job, where Damon Wayans was doing a good job, but like he never wanted to be there and he was miserable all the time. So most people were actually on Crawford's side because he was just kind of very serious about it all the time, trying to really make a good show, where Wayans was like half-assing it, but still would show up and somehow do a good job anyway. And they both hated each other. But I guess the studio sided with Wayans, and they replaced him with Sean William Scott, and then the show went under.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
All right,
it was.
Watch it.
All right. Last topic of the day is GTA Definitive Edition being released for the Switch. And
it's for all the systems, computer. It's all consoles.
Oh, okay, all consoles.
So yeah, apparently, Rockstar, they re-released the breakthrough Grand Theft Auto games, which was 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, that were originally for the PS2. And this was like the first fully immersive 3D games after the first 2 releases were just top-down 2D games. So apparently there's some hilarious glitches going on. If you go on Twitter, there is some really grotesque imagery there. And apparently the hot coffee mod is back. They left it in.
Good for them. I mean,
it caused them a lot of problems though, so maybe not good for them.
I can't imagine why people are so upset about that.
Because we live in a puritanical society.
And it wasn't even put in the game. They ended up not putting it in.
No, it was dummied out, but the code was still left in, so hackers were able to access it. Not really hackers. Still hackers, yes, but
so you think they left it in this time on purpose?
They may have just been negligent. I mean, the fact that the graphics were all messed up. Plus, it looks like it looks really ugly on modern hardware. I looked at some clips and
it doesn't look good.
I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan to begin with anyway, but it would have been nice to have a shinier Vice City, because that's my favorite of the original 3.
I actually liked all the GTA games. Actually, except for GTA 4, it was kind of not.
I never actually finished. 5 has been lasting forever, so that's pretty much the only GTA game nowadays.
Right. I thought 5 was, they really were ambitious with that one. They were trying to do something a little different than they used to do.
And 5's doing well though. I mean, the online component has been keeping them in business forever.
Oh yeah.
But to have I'm excited about the GTA trilogy because I can play GTA games on Nintendo, which you've never been able to really do.
Yeah.
So I'm set to just buy them just so I can play the GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the Nintendo Switch Online, the online Nintendo Online.
64.
They'll release a patch or something.
They'll release patches, but I mean, do you want to pay for a broken game?
Yeah.
True.
It still works. It's just going to be goofy.
What was it? They had for when they patched they better patch the 64, because they, for the water level of the Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, they took away the fog on the flooring of the the Dark Link fight, and it looks god awful. Like it's a pixel nightmare.
It's tough to just, I don't know. It's tough to pull these things off on modern hardware and not take into the account what the limitations did to create graphics back in the day. I mean, like with pixel games, everyone's like, oh, let's stretch it out to 16:9 and
it should work.
It's a god-awful mess. You have to kind of keep in mind the limitations of TVs back in the day. Hid a lot of stuff.
It was whatever could work would work, and then when it's the day of the rabbit ears.
Yeah, but even like a low resolution 280 480i or 280 lines, whatever, doesn't have as much detail, so you're able to get away with a lot more that when you upscale it looks horrible.
and I don't even think there was such a thing as a refresh rate. So yeah, it was basically like it was fucking non-existent.
Oh, no, TVs have refresh rates. They're like 60 hertz in America.
Yeah, well, I mean back then with the older systems, they probably didn't have it was a non-existent like refresh rate, where it was like if it was like a refresh rate, it would have been like like every 2 hours it would refresh out the old pixels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did some like little things where they actually had to erase the beam for Atari. So like when it was drawing the line, it would actually change graphics back and forth while the line was being drawn. You know how the TVs used to work, where it draw the line, and it's hard to pull off. I capture footage sometimes of old Atari games. I just did one recently, and it's you miss a lot of detail because the capture card can't work the little tricks, like the interlacing tricks they used to do. So like it looks like either a solid block or nothing's there. And watch a video of someone doing a Nintendo game one day, like Contra, and when the guy flashes, it's like, where'd the guy go?
It's
But that's what's happening with the that's one of the things with the online, and the same thing with Grand Theft Auto. You know, it's tough without doing some work to adapt things straight.
Finagle it enough.
Yeah. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it. Plus, I'm sure they just rushed it out the door.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they want to get their money.
Just kind of throw on some shiny chrome plating and hoping that would be enough.
But, yeah, you do some simple upscaling, maybe of some polygons, and actually, let me look at the pictures here because I'm going kind of half-cocked here.
What I read on the message boards about it was some people had complaints, and other people were like, I have no problem with it. It's fine for what it is. And you're talking about a game that came out in the 2000s. Everyone's played it. And Grand Theft Auto 3, as much as Vice City was probably the better game, GTA 3 was literally a game changer. With
you were able to do whatever the fuck you wanted. Yeah. I could run down the street, punch an old lady in the face, and keep going.
There was no game like that prior. Now we take it for granted, but
so I should add that it's the complaints are that also it's unplayable on the PC. Like it's so glitchy that you can't even play it on the PC properly.
PC gamers
probably falling through.
Oh wait, Joe! Wait! Joe's going to start a war. What was that about PC gamers?
That's what you get for playing on your PC.
Joe's already going to get a whole bunch of flack.
Buy a console from our 10 viewers. My mom would really understand the difference.
Your mother is a PC gamer. She's got a rig.
Right.
Her MacBook
with cards
is ready to come down and beat your ass.
Exactly.
She's using 3DFX from 1997. The Voodoo, whatever.
She'll school you in Flight Simulator 97.
Oh, good stuff.
She will.
Oh, that game was amazing.
She's a licensed pilot.
I have the original Flight Simulator too, but
that's our show today, everybody. I believe we'll be taking off next week, and we'll be back the week after with a new show because next week's Thanksgiving week. So
we have to prepare for our turkey makings.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
And we'll
gonna have
back
a float in the parade, so that's what we're preparing for.
Yes.
We do have a float in the parade.
It's gonna be an ode to Teddy Ruxpin. That's why I have him out.
Big ass Dodo.
So you guys, any information you want from me? I like to play with toysproductions.com or
ATV Games Twitter.
Yep. Dan,
Shaggy GB on Facebook, Shaggy1331 on Instagram, and I'm going to be performing at the Harbor Crab Company in Patchogue this Friday. Dinner starts at 6. Show starts at 8.
All right. Check it out.
Go to Gateway Comedy to get the tickets.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I like to play with toys.